Okay, we'll be going. Brave and beyond, and a very warm welcome to today's Cabinet Decisions briefing. As always, we are coming to you live and direct from the Government Information Center studio here in the heart of the nation's capital, Windhoek. For this briefing, I will be your host. My name is Hileni Felipes Hamunyela. And as is the norm for the Cabinet Decisions briefing, I am joined in the studio by the Minister of ICT and Spokesperson of Government, Honorable Emma Theophilus, and she is here to deliver the latest Cabinet decisions. Honorable Minister, once again, good afternoon. It is over to you to brief the nation.
Thank you very much, Helene, and good afternoon to you and to all the viewers and listeners. And before I get into the decisions, I want to wish you and Gottridge a happy birthday. Twins, born on the same day in the ministry, wishing you a blessed day ahead on your special day.
Thank you so much.
You're very much welcome. Well, viewers and listeners, welcome to the Cabinet decisions of all the decisions issued at the 25th and 26th Cabinet meetings held on the 4th and the 11th of August 2026. The first Cabinet decision at the 25th Cabinet meeting is the National Upstream Petroleum Local Content Policy as a framework for local content development in Namibia's upstream petroleum sector. Cabinet approved this policy, and Cabinet also took note that the National Upstream Petroleum Local Content Policy will maximize national participation throughout the petroleum value chain in order to promote employment creation local procurement, enterprise development, technology and skills transfer, research and innovation, and the increased ownership and participation by Namibians. The second cabinet decision is the establishment and operationalization of the Public Assets Management Agency of Namibia, PAMA for short. Cabinet approved the establishment of this commercial agency on behalf of the government, which shall be known as the Public Assets Management Agency of Namibia, as a public company with limited liability in terms of the Companies Act of 2004, with the government of the Republic of Namibia as the sole shareholder. In addition, Cabinet took note that PAMA is conceived as a strategic entity dedicated to ensure transparent, efficient, and effective management of the country's commercial public assets. The next cabinet decision is the report of the state visit by Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, President of the Republic of Namibia, to the People's Republic of China from the 6th to the 10th of July 2026. Cabinet took note and endorsed the report of the state visit by Her Excellency the President and directed the following offices, ministries, and agencies, OMAS for short, who convened sector-specific meetings and programs to nominate a senior focal person and submit an implementation plan on the proposed engagement areas with China to the Ministry of International Relations and Trade. First, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform. Second, the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture. Third, the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Fourth, the Ministry of Works and Transport. Next being the National Planning Commission, the Ministry of Finance through NAMRA, the Ministry of Health and Social Services, and the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board. Cabinet also took note that the state visit reaffirmed the strong political foundation with China, providing the relationship a more explicit economic and developmental focus to contribute directly to industrialization, local value addition, employment creation, skills development, technology transfer, export diversification, and improved public services in the Republic of Namibia. The next cabinet decision is a report on the state visit by Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, President of the Republic of Namibia, to the United Republic of Tanzania between the 19th to the 22nd of June 2026. Cabinet took note and endorsed this report of the state visit by Her Excellency the President and directed OMAS to concluded memoranda of understanding with the United Republic of Tanzania to proactively develop institutional implementation frameworks and action plans to ensure the timeous execution of all the signed bilateral agreements by the Ministries of Defense and Veterans Affairs, International Relations and Trade, and Urban and Rural Development. Furthermore, Cabinet took note that the visit addressed the modest economic exchange between the two nations, and both leaders pledged to create a more enabling environment for private sector partnerships and business-to-business engagements. The next cabinet decision is a report on the fourth session of the Namibia-South Africa Bi-National Commission held in Pretoria, South Africa, and the Business Forum held in Midrand, Johannesburg on the 17th of July 2026. Cabinet took note and endorsed this BNC report, which was preceded by a meeting of senior officials from the 14th to the 15th of July and the ministerial segment on the 16th of July 2026, respectively. As such, Cabinet directed all OMAS to implement all relevant decisions contained in the agreed minutes of this BNC and for satisfactory progress to be reported at the midterm review in 2027. The next cabinet decision is the outcome of the 18th African Continental Free Trade Area AFCFTA Council of Ministers meeting held on the 30th of June 2026 in Abuja, Nigeria, and proposed national implementation actions. Cabinet took note and endorsed the report and directed all relevant OMAs to support the implementation of the AFCFTA by aligning their respective policies and programs with Namibia's AFCFTA obligations. Moreover, Cabinet approved the commencement of the national process for the ratification of the AFCFTA Phase 2 protocols, namely the protocols on investment, competition policy, digital trade, intellectual property rights, and women and youth. The next cabinet decision is a report on the 28th SADC Ministerial Committee of the Organ on Politics, Defense, and Security Cooperation, which took place in Salima, Republic of Malawi, from the 13th to the 17th of July 2026. Cabinet took note and endorsed this report on politics, defense, and security cooperation and directed relevant OMAs to take action in their areas of responsibility. The last cabinet decision of the 25th cabinet meeting is the Memorandum of Understanding between the government of the Republic of Namibia and the government of the Republic of Serbia on cooperation in the prevention of serious criminal offenses, particularly in the fight against organized crime and terrorism. Cabinet approved the signing of this MOU and also authorized the Minister of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security to sign this Memorandum of Understanding on behalf of the government of the Republic of Namibia. I now move on to the cabinet decisions issued at the 26th cabinet meeting. First is a report on the SADC Foreign Affairs Ministers' Retreat. Cabinet took note of this Foreign Affairs Ministers' Retreat report and directed the following OMAs to take action in the areas of responsibility. First, the Ministry of International Relations and Trade, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, the Ministry of Works and Transport, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform. In addition, Cabinet took note that the retreat was convened to assess the impact of evolving global geopolitical developments on SADC's region and focused on the following 5 thematic areas. 1. Financing regional integration, investment, public debt management, and domestic revenue mobilization. 2. Industrialization, value chains, trade being the top 10 imports and exports. 3. Being infrastructure, transport and logistics, and free movement of people, goods, and services. 4th, being energy, oil and gas, and mineral resources. And lastly, agriculture inputs such as fertilizers and equipment, supply chains, markets, and food security. The second report is the report on the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations International Summit, a call for peace, the end of wars, and respect for international law, which was held from the 16th to the 17th of July 2026 in Luanda, the Republic of Angola. Cabinet took note of the report on this international summit and directed the following OMAs to take action in their areas of responsibility. The Ministry of International Relations and Trade, the Ministry of Gender Equality and Child Welfare, the Ministry of Defense and Veterans Affairs, the Ministry of Works and Transport, the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, and the Namibia Central Intelligence Services. Cabinet took note that the United Nations Alliance of Civilizations is an initiative which aims to improve understanding and cooperation amongst nations and people across cultures and to reduce polarization at local and global levels. Cabinet took note that the principal outcome of the summit was the adoption of the Luanda Joint Statement, reaffirming the collective commitment of participating states and organizations to peace, dialogue, multilateralism, and the respect for international law, calling for renewed cooperation to address the root causes of conflict through preventative diplomacy, inclusive governance, and sustainable development, and reaffirming the meaningful participation of women, youth, young people in peace and security processes. The last cabinet decision for this briefing is a proposal to institute 12 September 2026 as National Day of Prayer as a mechanism to inculcate moral principles and respect for the sanctity of life. Cabinet took note of the progress made on the commemoration of the National Prayer Day on 12 September 2026 to be observed in all 14 regions as part of the national mechanisms to inculcate moral principles and respect for the sanctity of life among citizens in line with the Cabinet Decision number 9/31st of March 2026/001. Hileni, this concludes the Cabinet briefing of all the decisions taken and issued for the Cabinet decision meetings of the 25th and 26th held on the 4th and the 11th of August 2026.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for gracing us with your presence this afternoon at the Government Information Center and for making time to update the nation on the latest Cabinet decisions. As always, it is really very highly appreciated. Thank you. Right now, Namibia, that wraps it up for this afternoon's Cabinet Decisions briefing. From myself, Hileni Felepe-Samunyela, and the GIC production crew. Until next time, take care.